Obviously, this is future max packs. This video is way too long, so we're cutting it up into two separate videos. This is video one. Make sure you watch all of video one before you go to video two. And without further ado, let's just get right to it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Max Packs. Today, we're talking about Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, normal ETBs, promos. We'll just kind of talk about everything. So, Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs are way less printed than the normal ETBs, at least the first ones of Scarlet and Violet. Back on Discord, there used to be stock checkers that would work, and I think up until 151 was the first PC ETB set that put out 100,000 ETBs. I believe Obsidian Flames was something like 40 to 55,000. Like, that's how little those were actually printed. Now, your normal ETBs, I mean, everybody gets those. Big Box, GameStop, LCSs, LGS, whatever you want to call them. Everyone gets those. I mean, those are never short printed. Those are everywhere. No questions about that. There's plenty of those. That means, at least up until 151, I mean, even 151 is pretty scarce, not going to lie. But after 151, I would say, honestly, like Surging Sparks and after, because Surging Sparks was easy to get. I got a ton of Surging Sparks. I got a ton of Prismatic. Prismatic was easy to get, but they did reprint Prismatic a few times. So Prismatic is definitely like, so essentially what they did, 151 was printed more than the sets around it. And then I'm going to assume probably Prismatic was probably printed more than the sets around it. But now, like the sets now, I would say are probably higher print runs than Prismatic. Obviously, I have no numbers to back that up. Got to take my word for that. Trust me, bro. But at least now, like something with Ascended Heroes, just because they last so long, and I think they're back up to limit 2. Obviously, when you get in line and there's 500,000 people in front of you, those aren't all going to be checking out. A lot of them get error. A lot of people get errored out. A lot of legit people get errored out. Some people have payment failures or cancellations. Sometimes there's people trying to get a second order, and then a lot of them are bots and tasks running and stuff like that, or whatever the correct word is. I don't really know how bots work like that, but there are a lot of bots, and they do still hit Pokemon Center, but they take a lot of space, and especially if you have multiple accounts and trying to run, which most botters do. That doesn't mean there's 500,000 people that checked out too. That's not what that means. Just so everybody knows. But anyway, let's talk about some promos. Everybody's favorite, the Pokemon Center exclusive promos. Personally, I collect these in PSA 10s. These are very, very low pop. I think pretty much all of them are, especially the, first whatever. A lot of these are actually really low pop. And you can look at Pokemon PSA's website, but the amount of PC ETBs from Scarlet and Violet base, the amount of PC ETBs for Paldea Evolved, and let alone the PSA 10s, because they didn't protect these cards at all. Like the Charmander's a few $1,000s because it was never protected. Like, they didn't protect any of these promos. Now they like put them in the promo pack with the dividers or whatever. But that was with the 151 UPC. If you ordered it from Pokemon Center, you got that one. But none of these were protected in those ETBs until honestly, I can't remember which set it was. It might have been what set was it? It might have been Surging Sparks or a hair after Surging. Maybe it was Journey Together. They started protecting them better. It might have been that. But even the Paldean Fates one, Mimikyu, I don't think that's a high pop count. I'd have to double check, but I don't think it is. And Fluttermane was like 69. Giggity, nice. Fluttermane was like 69 for the longest time. And that hit a couple $1,000 card as well. And I mean, like, who the hell cares about Fluttermane, right? Iron Thorns is a low pop. Ogerpon, I think there was quite a bit of these graded, and it's not popular. Same thing with Petriant. Petriant no one cares about. Knocked Owl, no one cares about again. Stellar Crown's ass anyway. Magneton got really cheap, and that's a Shinji Kanda promo, and like that's pretty nice still. I like that card. And I mean, it's Magneton, it's a OG, you know. The EV is relatively expensive, and the pop is definitely higher on that one. Thundurus has a higher pop count than Tornadus, and I don't have the Tornadus yet. And as you can obviously tell, I don't have the Wobbuffet from Destined Rivals, which makes me a little sad. But actually, this one's out of order, so I have to put these back in order. But Thundurus is a little higher pop count. Tornadus is a way lower pop count. Same thing with Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet's a pretty low pop count too, and those slabs are expensive, and that's why I don't have them yet. Zora, I don't think that's too bad, and then the Tyranitar is not too bad either. But the promos are home runs in my opinion. You know, this silly little stamp right here, that silly stamp. Jesus, glare's terrible. This silly stamp, that's all it is. It's the only thing. People don't want to open those ETBs. I know I don't. I have a collection going of them. Do I have more than one of everyone? No, I have more than one of every single one. And I have never sold a PC ETB. I've tried, but market kind of crashed as I was trying to sell them. So they never really, you know, I pulled them real fast. But let's jump in and take a look at how these PC ETBs are doing, especially in the downturn.